So I'm calling this sunset yoga because I filmed it in the late afternoon, and it's a great practice to do at the end of your workday. But the reality is you can do this at any time of day. There are two versions to this routine. This version that you're looking at right now, which is very low to the floor and grounding, it's good for balancing your root and sacral chakra. But there's also another version in which we do the same poses with the standing variation, which stimulates more of your solar plexus chakra. And it's also good to do if you cannot practice on your knees and you experience pain in your knees. So here you're going to see me use some props. I'm going to use some yoga blocks, but you can also use books as well. I'm also going to use a towel for some cushioning, but you can also use any other sort of padded surface, such as rolled up yoga mats or even a cushion as well. So to begin, let's come to a lying position, and you're really just going to take this time to bring yourself into some organic movement into your body. So usually I just wiggle through my fingers and toes, give myself a big stretch, and just move around to release any tension that I might be feeling at this time. The most important thing is just to be very gentle as you come into these movements. Once you've gotten a chance to do that for a few moments, come into your breath and really see if you can connect to the expansion in your inhale and the release in your exhale. Breathing comfortably in through your nose and out through your nose. And taking this moment to just come into your practice, to be present, and to let go of any to-do lists or tasks. You're going to start with your back leg, which is your right knee, and just bring it into your chest very gently. You can hold the top or the bottom of the knee. And then from here, you're going to take that right leg and just lower it slightly so that the right toe touches the left thigh. From here, we're going to be going on to a twist. So taking your left hand to hold the right knee, gently guide the right knee across your body. Your right arm can stay wide to feel the release down through the arm and into the twist. Keeping the left leg where it is, lift your right knee back up and let your right knee now open wide and release onto the floor. You can stretch up with your left arm for the full body release. Lower the leg and let's try the other side. So now you bring the left knee into the chest very gently, holding either the top of the knee or underneath the knee, wherever it's comfortable for you. Calm, slow breathing here as you feel the opening into the opposite hip, your right hip. You might even feel this into your lower back as well. Keeping the shoulders down, lower the left knee slightly and then bring it across your body into that gentle twist. Just allowing now the release all the way down through the spine. Bring the front leg back up or your left leg back up, and now let it open wide and release down to the floor in a reclined tree pose position. And if you want the stretch, you can take that right arm up for the stretch. Return the feet back. Let's go into a variation of bridge pose. So the feet are on the floor, hip distance apart, elbows are pushing into the ground. You're going to lift your chest and then release the chest and lower the arms. Let's do that again. Bring the hands close into your waist. Gently press into the elbows and forearms to lift your chest and then release, lowering the chest and the arms. We'll do a few more like this. So breathe in, press into the arms to lift your chest. If you want more, you can breathe out, lift the hips away to full bridge pose, and then slowly release arms and the hips down. So you can continue with the variation of just the arms and the chest, or if you want more, again, push into the feet, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips to bridge pose, and then release. Let's do one more. Breathing in, chest opening, Breathing out, squeezing through the glutes to lift the hips as you lower the arms. Take another in-breath and then out-breath. Slowly come on down to the floor. From here, slowly transition over to a child's pose. So if you're on a hard surface like hardwood floors, this is where it's really good to have some cushion under your knees. I'm using just an old towel that I've rolled up, and I'll place it under my knees for some softness. Bring your big toes to touch, let your knees open wide, and reach your chest and head forward onto the floor. You can let your arms extend into child's pose. If you've got blocks, you might find it helpful actually to place a block under your forehead, especially if you can't lower all the way down. The block on the forehead also stimulates your third eye chakra as well. There's also a variation with the arms that I'm showing you, which is just to bring the hands behind the head in prayer pose so the palms are touching. And you'll notice a different sensation here into the triceps, into the underarms. From your child's pose, bring yourself back up and let's go into a gentle twist. So you place your right forearm on the floor and your left hand on the ground, and you just gently turn to the left side. You can stay here for the twist or come on down to the outside of your right elbow, palms together, push to prayer pose, and then revolve to your left side for the twist. Breathing full and deep, we release and try it on the other side. So left forearm to the floor, just turn to your right side, check in and see how this feels. You can stay, or you can come on to the outside part of the elbow, press into the arm to lift your chest as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, revolve into the twist. Keeping the hips pushing back to the heels, and then we release, come on back down to child's pose. Going into a side body release, walk the hands over to your left side as you keep your heels and your hips together, and just notice that release all the way down the right side. You let your head rest lightly, and then bring the hands back to center. We walk over to the right side, lowering the head. I'm showing you here the variation of hands resting on blocks, and that just gives you a different sensation into the upper body. You choose what feels good for you, and just breathe here again into the release all the way down your spine, all the way down your waist, and into the lower back and hips. Bring the hands back to center, and let's go to a tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, cat-cow sequences. So arch the back, inhaling, curl the back, exhaling. A few more like this. Tip the tailbone, the crown of the head up, and then draw the belly in as you tuck the chin in. One more. Breathing in, you can look up if it feels good. Breathing out, curling, rounding through the spine. Reset to tabletop. And then tuck your toes and let's press into the hands to lift the hips high to downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder distance, spread the fingers and push strong into the hands. Legs are hip distance. You might want to walk the legs out, bending one knee and then the other. And it's okay if your heels don't touch the floor. You might find it more comfortable to keep the knees bent. Until you're ready, you can slowly lower the heels to the floor if that feels better for you. Take a few breaths here in your downward facing dog. We're going to be going into a lunge sequence. So bend the knees, look to your hands, step your right foot forward and lower onto your left knee. Make sure the right knee is above your right ankle. Left knee is under the hip. You can tuck the tailbone under. Lift your left arm up and then side bend gently to your right side. Come back up tall. Try it again. Gentle side bend over to the right. Inhaling to lift up tall. Exhaling, gentle side bend. Let's try one more. Opening through the chest and releasing all the way down the side body into the hip. Release the hands and place them on your thighs. We're going to go into a low lunge. So slowly shift the hips forward, making sure the right knee stays over the ankle. And then slowly pull the hips back. On the first round, you might want to keep a little bend in the right knee. It's a hamstring stretch. Here's the version using yoga blocks. As you shift forward, you can place your hands on yoga blocks. And then again, as you pull back into your hamstring stretch, you can place your hands on the block, adjusting the height if you need it. Let's do one more round. Breathing in, come forward, keeping your chest up, and then breathing out, pulling the hips back, extending that right leg into your hamstring stretch. Come back to your low lunge, bending the right knee, placing your left hand on the floor, turn to your right side and come to a lunge twist. So you can keep the left hand on a block, you can keep the left knee down, or you can tuck the toes and straighten that left leg for the full lunge twist. Hands release back down, stepping your feet back to downward facing dog and resetting your pose here. So breathing in to feel the length in the spine, breathing out, pressing your chest back to your thighs. Come forward to plank on the knees, lower all the way down to the floor, keeping the hips on the floor, squeeze the glutes as you lift the chest forward to cobra, pulling the elbows back. We release, tuck the toes, push back to downward facing dog with the hips high. And again, breathing in to lengthen the spine, breathing out, pressing chest back to thighs. Let's do the lunge sequence on the other side. Bend the knees, look to the hands. Left foot this time, bring it forward. Set the left knee above the ankle. Right knee is under the hip. Lift your right arm up as you inhale. And now exhale, gently reach over to the left side. Come on back. Breathing in and breathing out to side bend. So you choose how far you want to take the side bend. And as you come into these postures, just notice the sensations into your body, whether that's in the hip, it's in the waist, or it's in the leg. And you're breathing into those areas. Release the hands, and let's take them either on the blocks, on the floor, or on your thighs, coming into our low lunge sequence. So inhaling to shift the hips forward, opening into the hips, and then exhaling to pulling the hips back. Now you're slowly going to extend that left leg for the hamstring stretch or a half split. It's another name for the pose. Sink again, lifting the chest up to low lunge and then pulling the hip back. Chest stays, reaching forward in your half split. Let's do one more. Inhaling and then exhaling, pulling back for the stretch. Reset your lunge, bending the left knee over the ankle, right hand to the floor, twist to the left, and if you want it, tuck those right toes, extend the leg. Beautiful energizing pose here. Release the hands, stepping the feet back, downward facing dog. So let's go into our vinyasa sequence again. So as you inhale, you're going to come forward into your plank position, strong through the body. So squeeze the abdominals on the knees or toes. Exhale slowly down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting to cobra or all the way up to up dog. And then tucking the toes, pulling the hips back high, downward facing dog. We go to our lunge sequence again, bending the knees, right foot steps forward, setting the knee over the ankle, bringing the left knee onto the floor, lifting up with the left arm, and then exhaling, reaching over to the side bend. Open the left arm, exhale, side bend over. Do a few more like this and just notice again the sensations working down through the body. Hands come back. And let's go into the low lunge sequence. So again, choose whether you want blocks or not. Shift the hips forward and then pull the hips back. Extend the right leg, keeping the knee bent if you want. Come forward again, keeping the chest up so we've got long spine. And then as you pull back, you can bring your right toes up. Gives you a little bit of a stretch into the calf. One more. Inhaling to come forward. And then exhaling to pull back. Coming into your lunge sequence. And then the twist. Turning now to your right side. Revolving and reaching the right arm high. Lowering the hand. Come back onto your left knee. So here's a little change. I want you to stay on your left knee and turn to face the front. Right leg is straight out to the side. Lift your left arm up and reach over to the right side, and then switch the arms. Lower your left arm and reach your right arm overhead. We got a few more like this. So side bend, taking the left arm over. You can place your right hand on blocks for support. And then as you switch, if you've got blocks again, the left hand can be on your block as you reach your right arm over. One more. Breathing in, side bend. This is called gate pose. Breathing out, going in the other direction. This is called wild thing. Beautiful release for the side of the body. Bring yourself back up. Slowly come back to your lunge and then stepping your feet back to downward facing dog. We go again and reset our pose. So take your time here. Come back into your breathing. And then inhale, strong plank as you bring the chest forward on the knees or toes. Exhale with control down. Breathing in, upward facing dog or cobra. And then breathing out, tuck the toes, hips high, downward facing dog. Take a moment, come into your breath. Bending the knees, this time left foot steps forward. And always reset the knees if you need to. Right arm lifts up with the in-breath and then the out-breath to side bend. Lifting the chest as you breathe in and then reaching over as you exhale. Noticing the sensations as you go through these sequences, the strength into the legs, the openness into the chest, and then the release down the spine, down the waist. Back to our low lunge sequence. So again, you choose the options that work for you. Shifting forward to open the hips and then pulling back to half split to open the hamstrings. Reach your chest forward as you breathe in. Energy and length through the spine, and as you pull back, keep reaching the chest forward. Keep feeling the energy down through the spine. Let's go one more round. Come forward, in breath, and then pull back, out breath. Nicely done. Come back onto your lunge. Right hand to the floor, tucking the right toes. You can reach up with the left arm for the lunge twist. Again, feeling the energy in this pose, and then you lower the hand, come on back down onto your right knee. Now you're going to turn away from me, keeping the right knee on the floor, left leg out straight. Take your right arm and reach over to gate pose, and now switch. Left arm comes over to wild thing. Let's do it again. Right arm up, side bend to your left, right arm down, lift your left arm up, reaching over from fingers to toes. One more round. Breathing in, gate pose, right arm lifts, breathing out, lower the right arm, left arm lifts to wild thing. Bring yourself back up. Reset the lunge. And then tuck toes, lifting the hips high. One more downward facing dog sequence. So again, coming into your breath, inhaling to plank, exhaling, slowly lowering with control, breathing in, chest forward, lifting up, and then breathing out, coming to tabletop. We're going to go into camel pose. So the knees are under the hips, tuck your toes, and you're going to bring the hands to your lower back. Now, if you've got blocks, you can take one block and place it between your legs. Squeeze the inner thighs together to hold your block in place. And this just helps to give more energy into your camel pose. So every time you inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart, and every time you breathe out, tighten through the thighs, tighten through the glutes, bringing the elbows behind you. We're opening through the front body so the heart and the chest reaches upward as the chin tucks in and the back body is energized and strong. Good stuff. Tuck your chin in, release the pose, take the blocks out of the thighs, and then slowly bring yourself to tabletop. One more round of twists. Lift your right arm high, slip it through, and lower the right shoulder and head down to the floor. This is a tabletop twist or thread the needle. So your left hand is on the ground to support you, the hips stay lifted, and you breathe into your back. Unravel, inhaling to lift the right arm and exhaling to reset. Trying it on the left side. Left arm up, slip it through, lower the left shoulder, lower the head, and again use that right arm on the floor to just keep you supported. Notice where the sensation is here in your body and send your breath into those areas. Slow and calm. Inhaling to unfold the left arm, exhaling, resetting your tabletop. So from here, we're slowly going to bring ourselves down to lie on the mat. So you can take the towel away, or you can keep it and place it under your head or under your neck. That's more comfortable for you. But as you return back to the floor and back to your lying position, just check in and see how you're feeling. All right, this is where you see if you need anything more. Do you need any extra stretches or twists? Is there another pose that your body's calling for? You can take some time to do that if that feels good for you. And then whenever you're ready, you can come into Savasana, our final meditation and relaxation pose. Take some time to choose a position that's comfortable for you. That might be lying with the arms and legs extending away from the body. It might be curled onto your side, or it could be sitting with the legs crossed. Find a position where you can enjoy stillness. And you can choose to close your eyes or keep them open. Noticing your breath again. That beautiful inhale that expands through the body, and that exhale that allows you to relax. Feeling that each time you breathe in, you nourish, you heal your body. And each time you breathe out, you soothe and relax your body. Again, beautiful, expansive in-breath to fill up and nourish. Calming and soothing out-breath to release. Taking this moment again to notice sensation and to let go of judgment and to let go of commentary. And just be in the present moment, connected to your breathing, nourishing in-breath and relaxing out-breath. And when you're ready to come out of this, slowly wiggle through your fingers and toes. And again, move in whatever way your body needs you to move. It might be stretches. It might be a hug by bending the knees and bringing it into your chest. It might even be a few rocks from side to side to massage through your back. And then ever so gently, come to bring yourself up to a seated position. Let the legs cross in front of the body. Sitting up tall, just let your hands rest on your thighs. Taking a moment now to come back to our 4 parts of our being. Breathing in, arms open wide, bring them overhead, palms touch. Exhale down and stop at your belly to acknowledge your physical body, and taking time to be thankful for your health. Another in-breath. Let your arms open wide, reach them overhead, palms touch. Exhaling down through the midline, stopping at your heart to acknowledge your emotional body, and focusing on feelings of love for others and of love for yourself. Inhaling, opening and lifting, palms together, and exhaling down, stopping now at your mouth to acknowledge your intellectual body, hoping that you always think and communicate with kindness. Another in-breath to rise. Hands down through the midline, exhaling and stopping at your forehead to acknowledge your spiritual body, honoring your connection to humanity and to all living things, to the universe and to the divine. Thank you everyone for joining me in this practice. I wish you abundance and peace.